Hello, for today's video I will be presenting posture and movement assessments. So this is a blank lab practical assessment sheet, and this contains the three assessments that we'll be doing today. It is the posture assessment, standing rotation assessment, and the shoulder flexion assessment. These are the criteria for how to do these assessments, as well as the scores, as well as the rating and the comments and notes. Towards the end of the video, I will be interpreting results from a filled out lab practical assessment sheet. Before we conduct the practicals, I would like to introduce the subject for practical number 1. So today we have my mom, Rowena Balbuena, and she is waving hi. And in a few seconds, you'll see my sister, and she is the photographer. For our first assessment, we'll be looking at the posture assessment, and the importance of this is to see any imbalances that can cause pain and discomfort. For optimal posture, rib cage should be aligned over pelvis, aligned over feet, and head should be over the rib cage and have shoulders aligned with ear. So this is the side view for the postural assessment. And in this close-up view, we see that the subject's ear, shoulder, and hip are aligned together. And in this lower half of the close-up view, we see that the hip and the feet are aligned together. And in this standard view, we see that the rib cage is aligned over the pelvis and aligned over the feet. And this is my subject's front view of the posture assessment. And here is a close-up shot of my subject's front view. And here is the back view of my subject's posture. The second assessment is the standing rotation assessment. The importance of this is that we identify how much rotational mobility is present. For optimal standing rotation, subjects should be standing with feet together and hands on hip. So here is the front view of the standing rotation assessment, and right now my subject is currently center and it being instructed to rotate to the left and then back to center and then instructed to rotate to the right. My subject was then instructed to do this for about 2 more times on the left side and on the right side. The last assessment is the shoulder flexion assessment. The importance of this is the flexibility and mobility of a shoulder joint and the range of motion. And for this assessment, subject was instructed to flex their shoulders at about 150 degrees to 180 degrees, and examiners asked subjects if there's any pain. And now it is time to interpret the data and the results. So this is the filled out lab practical assessment sheet with my subject's name, age, the current date, and my subject's limitations. So my subject has 2 limitations, which is hypothyroidism and high blood pressure. For this first assessment, I gave my subject a score of 2. Although shoulders were in line with the head and the hip, knee, ankle, and feet aligned with each other as well, there were some modifications in cueing that needed to be instructed. For my second assessment, which was the standing rotation assessment, I gave my subject a score of 2 because there was modification slash queuing involved as well. And this time I noticed that my subject did have a lot more limited rotation on their right side rather than their left side. The last assessment was the shoulder flexion assessment. I gave my subject a score of 3, which means my subject performed the task competently, and they did everything that they could to get up to 180 degrees, and they did that. To note, there was some arching of the back with shoulder flexion, and subject answered that there was no pain during shoulder flexion. Thank you for watching.